Well, just in general, and this is the feeling that I had when I was looking at this teams and trying to decide who I was going to vote for in my preseason media poll. And it was really close between a handful of schools, but there is just not a lot separating most of these Big 12 programs when you look at them. Some teams get more returning players, but have an easier schedule. And so the theme out here has been that this is going to be a very, very competitive football conference. Even Brett Yormark used the word parity. They're not really hiding from that. Now, that's going to make it tougher for the Big 12 to get a lot of teams in the college football playoff. I think I'd be surprised if there were more than 2 teams in the Big 12 that make it in, because they are going to cannibalize each other, and there's not going to be a lot separating a lot of these teams. I've said this also before. I've never seen a Colorado schedule that has more coin flip games on it. And so when you go out to media day and you continue to hear these coaches talk and you continue to look at these rosters and what they have, it really strikes that home that this is going to be a very entertaining conference, but you're not going to have the haves and the have-nots like you do generally in college football. In the Pac-12, a lot of times it was, USC and Utah and Oregon, and then kind of the rest of the teams. The Big 12 sure has some strong brands, Utah still being one of them, Oklahoma State. Mike Gundy and Kyle Whittingham have both been at their program for 20 years now, and so the stability there is established, but even Oklahoma State's come down to earth the last couple of years. I expect them to have a very solid team this year, but they're not world beaters. Utah, they get Cam Rising back. They are probably the front runner to win the conference, but again, and they're always solid in the trenches, but there's some question marks about their team as well. So that's the thing. It was very difficult ranking the programs 1 to 16. And I think there's going to be some teams, even right now, you predict to finish 12th, 13th that are going to play spoiler in some of these games. And so that's been the biggest thing that's really stood out to me about the Big 12. But it should be fun. You're going to enjoy tuning in to Big 12 games this fall, because you think back to last year, and this was a preview for it, Colorado's game against TCU was one of the most entertaining games all season in the regular season. So I think you're going to see a lot of those type of games this year.